Hello, my name is Mark Monlux, and once again, you're watching another episode of Epic Sketch Time. I'm an illustrator here in Tacoma, Washington, and you can find my link and information below here in the doobly-doo. I love to draw cartoon reviews of movies, and I have two books out called The Comic Critic Presents Seldom Seen Films and The Comic Critic Presents Blockbusters. Gentlemen, introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Bill Morse. I'm a illustrator and cartoonist working here in Seattle, Washington, and I also do a comic strip called Rhapsodies, which you can find at rhapsodies.wpmorse.com.
My name is Pat McCuen. I'm not on the West Coast at all. I am in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. It is 7:27 Eastern Time where I'm at. I draw a comic called The Devil and Mr. Gandhi. You can read it at devilandgandhi.com.
Cool.
What are you guys working on today?
Well, I am in the middle. Of my my annual act of masochism, which is my Christmas storyline, and I will be working on the Sunday strip climax of the storyline, which involves our heroes trying to escape from the Nazca creatures that the Nazca lines in Peru are based on.
The thing that I'm going to be working on today will be what I was working on last week. I was cleaning up this image for my next deck of obscure movie monster aliens. This one is a particularly awful film. And it was called Zontar, the Thing from Venus.
Those wings are just claws?
Those are wings.
Gentlemen.
Hey.
Locke, we were all doing introductions. It's your turn.
Oh, my turn. Playing Minecraft with the little ones right now. Name's Locke. I'm I guess, illustrator, graphic designer, UX guy out of Toronto. And I'm currently working on some new pieces for next year. That's it.
It's 4:30.
4:30.
Yeah.
Sorry, we got our West Coast clocks were chiming in there. Locke, you're located. Oh, you said it. You're in Toronto, right? So you're.
Yeah, Toronto.
So you're 3 hours ahead or 2?
2. Wait, 4, 3. Right? It's 7 o'clock now. 7:30 right now.
Yeah, that's 3.
3, yeah.
Superwoman's looking pretty nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
It's gonna be slow.
I had to reboot my monitor. It was my stylus wasn't registering. I find that if I reboot my monitor sometime with the stylus held up next to it, it'll pop up. Does anyone else have that problem?
I don't think so, though. Occasionally, when mine has a personality, I just reboot them every.
game of Minecraft intrigues me, but I spent so much time when I was involved in playing The Sims and building worlds.
Yeah.
That I'm a little leery to go back into doing some world building because of all the hours that I invested in it. And you turn around, and next thing you know, your software gets out of date, and everything you built has gone by the wayside, and you don't even remember what it was all involved or what you named your characters, and you're kind of going, "Oh wow, that was a really rich fulfillment in my life. Yeah, maybe I should be doing something else." But no, it looks like a lot of fun.
The kids love it. It's just, it's Lego in a game where you can go in and pretty much play what they call survival or creative mode. A lot of time, my 4-year-old here is in creative mode. She just likes going in and building beds and stuff, and zombies and stuff are wandering around, and she's trying to, clear them out and all that stuff. But, other than that, it's fun for them.
Well, the short amount of time that I was playing in it, I guess I wasn't in survival mode because I never ran into a zombie. Then again, I was barely past the stage of starting fire. So no one gave me any type of a tutorial. I was just blundering around trying to figure out how to do things, and I'm wondering.
That was the point of the game. There was no tutorial. There was, you just gotta figure it out, and that's how it all started. I mean, I didn't even show my 4-year-old how to do this. She just went in and the game's so simple where you just drop a bunch of blocks and stuff, and they start creating houses and stuff like that. So, but the survival mode's a little more challenging. The older one does that because they call these things where Minecraft has these internal logic that kids can build circuits and switches and trap doors and stuff like that with these. It's amazing.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Sand
you
on
did.
the blocks.
Okay.
Then I can some roof stairs. There. I said roof stairs, and I said roof. I said roof. I said roofs, and I.
Oh, and I was really enjoying the charming dialogue.
She's explained to me what she's trying to do.
So Zontar here that I'm working on is, my drawing is actually much better than the actual film reference I have. If you go and take a look on YouTube, this is what you'd have to work with. And so
I was going to say, how did you get as much detail as you did?
Oh, well, let's see. Other people have also tried to tackle Zontar. Here's somebody else's take on it.
That almost looks like they made the model out of plasticine.
So, oh yeah, it's. I'm wondering just what they did. Did they solder rubber together, or how did they get this? It's obviously an early rubber mold. But yeah, the weird eyes, and so obviously I took a lot of artistic liberties with this artwork. Made him look a lot more cool. Did I lose everybody?
No, I don't think so.
Hang on, I was
My mic on mute.
Oh, okay. Thanks. No, I was just worried that I was moving my browser around, and I thought for a moment that I did something wonky with it. That's what's wrong.
That
My
London Bridge.
fair lady.
What you making?
A reef. A reef.
A reef. Oh, okay.
No, I said reef.
Oh, okay.
I said roof.
A roof. Yeah.
Ah,
Let's see. Push me down. Daddy, you push me down.
So this weekend, I went out and I saw Fantastic Beast: The Crimes of Griswold.
how was it?
I'm a big fan of the franchise, but I couldn't give it more than a 7.
Don't park it.
Mm-hmm.
And part of the reason for that was, why is this giving me a percentage? Oh, so I have my opacity set up on a weird setting. So, yeah, I would give it about a 7. And I thought that they pretty much stopped doing character development on our primary characters, and there were some new secondary characters that they were bringing into the mix. And that's fine and all, but I still think they should concentrate still on character development of the primary ones. And maybe they did, but I would have been happy with a little bit more. The movie was obviously formatted for a 3D experience, and I probably would have given it an extra point for that, but I didn't get a chance to see it in 3D because it's almost into the second run section of the theaters, you know, where they always put the main players in for 3D, the ones that they think will bring in the larger crowd. But I was actually kind of surprised. I didn't see anything in 3D this weekend at the theater with this stuff. These could obviously have been in 3D, so I'm wondering if the 3D is a different licensing deal than, say, regular 2D. Did anyone else see anything new this weekend?
Not this weekend, but I was watching a very interesting series about the Renaissance this week.
What was it titled?
Renaissance Unchained. It's a series by this really pop star of an art critic named Vandemar Januszek. Has a very interesting approach to his stuff, and he was sort of trying to demonstrate that the Renaissance wasn't quite all the wonderful stuff that people like to think it was, and very interesting in this completely new and realistic way. But I recommend it. I just recommend him very much. I just put on hold another one of his about the Dark Ages.
A book I wanted to check out from the library that I recently learned about was Stephen Fry has done a book about Greek myths.
Ooh, cool.
And he just got through releasing another book that's an extension of the first one that's talking about Greek heroes.
I'll have to check that out. I know that Stephen Fry is extremely prolific, but I've never actually read any of his stuff.
Now, I know he has another book out called Victorian Secrets. And it's sort of like the history of the Victorian era, but a lot of the what was happening behind the scenes in society when everybody else was being really prudish in the, there's what people did in public and what they did in private.
Mm-hmm.
Two different things. So, Bill, is that the Santa sleigh you're working on?
Thor's no, that's going to come later. This is one of the things I played around with last year. I don't know if anybody knows their history of Santa Claus folklore, but one of the theoretical backgrounds of Santa Claus is there's a lot of scholars who suggest that Santa Claus is kind of sort of a modern take on Odin. And so based on that, it occurred to me that if Santa is kind of sort of Odin, last year I introduced two characters who were kind of sort of Thor and Loki. And so this sequence has them returning, and they're escaping on kind of sort of Thor's goat cart.
How much more work do you have to do on your series, Bill?
For the storyline, for the Christmas story, I've just started it. I'm a little behind because I was out of town all last week and the 5 days before that. But I actually managed to squeeze in a lot of the fundamentals and also wrote most of the script on the airplane. So this is probably the most ambitious part of it, but I'm pretty optimistic. But these color pieces are the ones that always take the most time. So I'm bet, which makes it a good thing that I wrote the script early. I'll be able to crank out the dailies pretty quickly.
Ian, what are you working on today?
Just another delayed comic strip. I'm trying to. Probably becoming, tired of hearing me say this, but I'm trying to work on the comic that I should be working on, but I never get around to. So
well, if you
so
get
busy.
tired of me saying, "Hey, I'm working on another card," or the same card I was last week, I'm not tossing any stones.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so easy just to stretch yourself thin and not have time for, things, and really need to get better about it, but it seems like life always throws something in my way.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, you just reminded me, Mark, that I need to work on my holiday card. I've been so busy on my client's card that I forgot about it.
Yeah.
I used to do a yearly Christmas comic.
Yeah.
And I haven't done one in nearly 10 years now. But I used to put a lot of effort into it, send it out. People really enjoyed getting them. Did them snail mail. I think the last one I had was training my Great Dane to be one of Santa's replacement reindeer.
Oh dear, how'd that work out?
That was pretty good. Though the one that people really enjoyed the most was when Santa Claus was kidnapped by terrorists and a cartoonist had to save him.
In my version, I doubt Santa Claus could ever be. It's one reason I try to keep Santa Claus in the background for mine.
Because of the terrorists?
No, because it's sort of like I've been doing Santa Claus kind of like this almost background god-like winter demigod, and it sort of the Due Mecana.
Oh. Is that how you say it? I thought it was Deus Ex Machina.
Oh, quite likely.
Yeah.
I always assumed that the DEUS was the French pronunciation.
Yeah, I think it's Latin, but I'm not.
I have been guilty of mix of blending cultures before.
So, is anybody like working on like a holiday card or anything like that? You said you are, Mark, or?
Oh no, I'm not working on one. Bill's
Oh.
doing his Christmas comic, but no. When I said card, I meant my deck of alien cards.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. I've tried to, and I've been pretty good about this. I've tried to create like a unique art piece for my family instead of like going out and buying them gifts, because they pretty much buy themselves whatever they want. Like, it's not impossible to shop for them, but I try to give them something a little special. So last year I made each of them a I wonder if I have pictures actually. I made each of them Pokemon trainers and gave them each like new Pokemon that I designed myself, and I made little illustrations that I printed out.
I don't think anyone in my family would understand the whole Pokemon reference.
I don't think any of mine would either. Well, my sister might. If she wanted, would appeal. Wait a minute. Because even if she wasn't in it, she probably encounters a lot of kids when she's teaching who are into it.
But I think it's great that you do a piece of art for your family.
Well, yeah, I try. What usually happens is my mom takes them away from everybody because she wants to keep them for herself. But you know, it's something. One year I did watercolors of the you know, this little pig went to market. This little pig went home. Like there's 5 people in my family, so I kind of made that like a theme for each person in my family.
Yeah.
And yeah, my mom took all that too. All right, so I found them. I don't know. Oh, wait, can I just press? I think I just pressed the space bar, right? Yeah. So this was for my little nephew, Bence. He wanted like a water cat. So I made that for him. And then my pop, who is insane about fishing, I just made him a fish Pokemon. And then there's only 3 more of these. I'm not going to bore you guys. So my brother, who's just addicted to cats, I just turned his cat into a Pokemon. And let's see. Yeah, my sister, she just had this this dog named Pixie, who's basically a Pokemon in real life, so that was easy. And finally, my brother. Let me see if I can find him. Oh, I know, my mom. This one was my favorite. I made her a sky turtle, but yeah, I really had fun on this one. So. Oh, okay. I'll show you guys the last one. My brother has this thing about pigs, so naturally, I made him a pig. But it was kind of cool trying to like mimic the you know, the Pokemon style and everything. I definitely didn't get it down pat, but you know, just the no width to the lines, like the animation style and everything. It was a fun little challenge. I have no idea what I'm going to do this year. I guess I'll figure it out. You know, the problem with doing a holiday card is like you can never buy like just a regular Hallmark card ever again. Mm-hmm. You pretty much ruined that market for yourself.
Yeah, the other problem I found is sort of like when you discover the limitations of the variety of cards you can find, especially with some of the super special occasions. The best example of what I'm talking about is my uncle died 2 years ago, and finding 3 separate consolation cards for my cousins and aunt were easier said than done.
Yeah, I guess it would be a little insincere to just send them all the same card, huh?
No, I mean I was feeling guilty enough that I put the same message in all of them, but happily I don't think any of them noticed. I got some very good feedback. They very much appreciated it.
Such an odd practice to just give somebody a piece of folded paper with a message written inside of it. I mean, you're right there, usually handing it to them. It's not like it's a letter or something.
Yeah, well, admittedly, in this case, it was because all my family's in New England, but
sure.
And
so, how terrible of my person am I when I don't even think about sending my cousins a condolence card? If I figured, oh, I'm just getting my aunt, that's good enough. She'll probably share it with the rest of them. And that's God.
I don't think you're a bad person. It's. I think it's just like Valentine's Day, right? I mean, it's a made up holiday for commercial purposes. So like all these like getting I'm sorry your pet died condolence cards and stuff. I mean, it's just.
Yeah, I mean, it was and it was harder. I mean, I was trying to avoid anything religious. Because I mean, the whole part of God's plan thing. If I had a dime of every time I heard a priest at a funeral saying that, and I had to resist the urge to punch them. I mean, the two best cards I found were actually both quotes from The Little Prince.
What a lovely subject we're on. By the way, I'm going to be gone next week because I'm going to be putting my mother-in-law on the ground.
Oh, jeez, I'm sorry.
She died when we went out to see her in Denver some weeks ago.
I've been seeing your Facebook posts on that. I kind of assumed that was all, in the past. I didn't realize there was more things that you still had to go through. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, it's sort of like, it happened so rapidly that trying to do something while we were still there in town just wasn't feasible. So she basically wouldn't be cremated until the day that, like the day after we left. So we would either have to extend out our trip unexpectedly and then try to get everyone to come in, or just put it on a day where everyone could schedule for it and make it, and then come back to town. And there was so much paperwork to do anyway, because even though she thought I think she got a little confused as the cancer progressed, and she thought that a living will counted as a will.
Oh.
So, yeah, we're having to deal with a lot of paperwork.
Yeah, that's my condolences. I know how tough that can be. I haven't had to deal with it personally, but my parents are getting older, and I'm the type of person who reads up on a lot of stuff, so I know how important it is to have everything like a will and everything properly taken care of. So that must be pretty difficult.
Now, my parents, they have a trust that they set up ages ago, because both of them had cancer scares. And so they've got, everybody knows that when they finally go, that it's not going to be anything to worry about. The hard part was that it was less than 6 months ago when my mother-in-law's brother died. And so and he had cancer too.
Oh, jeez.
One of the things that she started putting her affairs, she thought, I should really get my affairs in order. First thing I should do is probably see this doctor, because, maybe what I'm, worried about might be something a little bit more serious than it was. It turned out to be stage 4 cancer, so it she kind of went, well, wow, won the lottery there. So.
Ugh.
So that whole side of the family is kind of just reeling right now.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Well, if you want to change the topic, I was trying to tell you which movie I was watching while my microphone wasn't working.
Oh, what was the movie you watched?
A Quiet Place.
Oh, that's an excellent movie.
Yeah, I cringe at horror, so I'm making my way through it. But I was in the plane on the way back, and I paused it after. Has everyone seen it? I'm not ruining anything, am I?
Yeah, I've seen it.
I may mute you or leave.
Okay. I won't do spoilers. I paused it after like a moment where it was pretty tense and all that stuff, and I was just like, I was super tired and I was really feeling like the anxiety and scared. So I was just like, I need to sleep, not freak out. So I just paused it. But yeah, I'm making my way through it. The iTunes recommendation on it said that it's like a great horror film for people who love horror and for people who don't. And I was like, well, I'm kind of on the I have difficulty with horror side, so after this many epic sketch times talking to you, and I feel obligated to watch more horror. And I was like, well, maybe this is a good one.
That's kind of
go there. I fell for that. I fell for that kind of peer pressure too.
All the cool kids are doing it.
I mean, if you follow that advice, sooner or later you'll start to find yourself watching something like The Blind Dead.
Oh, Bill, have you heard, Bill? I wanted to send this to you. They are remaking The Blind Dead. I saw a trailer.
Oh.
Though there's going to be a remake of The Blind Dead coming out this year.
Oh dear.
In case you don't know, the Blind Dead is, was it Italian or Spanish? Spanish sexploitation or exploitation horror movies that went on to do a series. And Bill's actually seen more of the series than I have.
I've seen all 4 of the damn things.
Well, Bill, now that you're committed to the franchise, you just have to watch this remake, which looks like it's going to be particularly gruesome and brutal. So
probably with better production values.
Oh yes, much better production values.
Because I mean, the original ones, they were going back and forth between people in the costume and stick puppets.
So Bill, do you not like it, or are you enjoying it?
Which one?
This film that you and Mark are talking about. What is it?
The Blind Dead?
Yeah.
I don't think Bill likes it.
I should have stopped at 2. But they came. But it was the 2-for-1 deal at Scarecrow. They had they had 2 for each.
But oi, what a bargain!
I'm Scottish. What can I say?
Apparently not oi. So you guys were in New York.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Celebrating the Graphic Artists Guild's 50th anniversary.
That is correct.
Yeah, and having the guild's meeting. Trying
at least you didn't have to take. At least you didn't have to take notes.
Oh, are you done with that, or are you still doing it?
I am halfway through.
Yeah.
And then I had a wonderful comedy of errors having to send our our boss the scans of all the brainstorming newsprint that they filled out, and there was some bug in her email this morning, so I kept getting those error messages.
Oh. Yeah, all in all, it was a pretty fun trip, but I am exhausted. I think I'm still trying to.
How did your Lego mission go?
Oh, you mean Nintendo?
Oh, Nintendo mission, yeah.
I made it to Nintendo to find some stuff for my brothers and my nephew, and I mean, I love video games, anyway, and so it was pretty cool just to be there and check out all the stuff going on, and I was trying to get back in time to make the checkout for the hotel, and I realized that I still have a sister, and so I had to turn around and go back, and it's just like,
you left your sister at Nintendo?
Well, no, I didn't buy her anything.
You left her there.
No. It was buying stuff for my brothers and my nephew, and I completely forgot about my sister.
Oh, okay.
So I was literally like 3 blocks away. My foot was in the entrance to the subway, and I was like, I guess I'm going back. So I was just like hot stepping it back, and I knew exactly what to get her, and so I didn't spend too much time. But yeah, it was pretty frustrating. I planned things out so carefully, and then I just end up screwing it up. Like I got in the wrong subway, and so I was heading away from Manhattan instead of towards it, and
man.
One thing after another. So
yeah, it's weird. I was letting myself get so paranoid getting to the airport. Because it's sort of like there was I get to Penn Station okay, but Penn Station was just as almost a bigger madhouse going into it than it was getting out. And so I got my tickets for New Jersey okay, but then when I got to the waiting area for New Jersey, there was this absolute mob of Jets fans waiting to head over there, and I'm praying that they're going on a different train. And even when I was triple checked it and got into the right train, I wasn't completely sure. Whenever I'm stressed out like that, I have a bad tendency of gaslighting myself. And it is almost funny because it doesn't help that being confused briefly that in the native English of New Jersey, apparently Newark is one syllable.
Bill and I actually have a pretty good New York City story. You remember our subway ride back, Bill?
Oh, yes. Do you want to tell it, or shall I?
I'll start, but fill in the blank. So I was Bill, I, and like 3 other people from the guild were all heading back. We're in the subway, and I think Bill was in the middle of telling me something about Rhapsodies. I can't remember what it was. I know you were talking about your Christmas series, but so 2 of the ladies that were with us, they were sitting at the end of the train car, and then they noticed that they were like right across from this homeless guy who I guess must have smelled or something, but they're like, you know what, never mind, and they walked away. And so Bill and I and another one of our friends was just still standing there, and as Bill is talking to me, everybody scatters from around Bill, and he didn't notice it because he was looking away from what was happening. But a guy that was sitting right behind Bill just vomited all over his feet and legs. just like right there on the train car.
And the other guy, Todd, is pushing me aside, and I'm going, "What?" At first, it was giving me faint hints, and then finally, he pushes me away, and I'm going, "What the heck?" And then he points to it, and I'm like, "Oh, got it."
Yeah. So, but Todd kept on saying, "Welcome to New York," which just occurred to me afterwards. It's like that's really the only city where you say welcome to New York and it made something bad happen. You know, it's just like if you guys were like, hey, welcome to Seattle. It's not like, oh, you know. You know?
I mean, it's so funny. You never appreciate how sanitized the place you live in is until you go to New York. I mean, when I'm leaving, I come to the conclusion that I find that New York is more alien to me now than Europe is.
Well, you guys didn't really enjoy New York at all, did you?
It was awesome. Well, I mean,
it was fun. It was a few too many New York moments for me. Like the last night there was like some woman in our hotel who was like in an argument until 4 a.m. and you could just hear her screaming at her boyfriend or something. And then the next day, when I'm leaving, I was like initially amused because the guys that were in the elevator with me, they were just like so cliche New York. They're like, I'm not going to repeat what they said because it was too many curse words. But afterwards in the lobby, I was like, oh, wait a minute. Those guys might be in the mafia.
No, the normal ones do it like that. That's not swearing. It's punctuation.
well, no, they were picking up their boss. And like all three of them, I mean, their boss was like some old guy in a wheelchair. And I've never seen anybody do that for anybody's boss on a Sunday morning. It was just like, it didn't make any sense. So I'm pretty sure they were mafia. but yeah, it was colorful.
Mark, here, may I help you, please? Yes. For me or for my wife, Krista? Oh, let me guess. Oh, no. So let me guess. I haven't gone in for my blood draw. Okay, I'll do that tomorrow, first thing.
Well, speaking of mafia, I'm working on a piece of artwork here for a webcomic colleague of mine who does a webcomic called Dust Bunny Mafia.
Oh, yeah.
And he's putting out, I think, his second book soon. And I offered to do him some artwork. So I'm combining mafia and also popular movies. So Mark should be able to get this reference. Maybe not exactly. Well, no, he should be able to get it right away. One of the characters is popping out of a cake and is about to shoot up a fancy ballroom, essentially.
Well, that's such a dead giveaway. That's Deadpool 2.
Oh,
what?
Yes. It's also Action Mutante.
Oh, no. It's Some Like It Hot.
Ah.
What?
What's
Some
Maryland?
Like It Hot.
I don't remember that scene.
Where someone pops out of a gun and starts smoking everybody, all the mafia people in the room?
Yeah, it's all the mafia together, and they're like singing "Happy Birthday" to Spats, and
oh my God, you're right. I wonder if this was an homage that was done, and because
I couldn't tell you like how many different movies have that similar scene.
Yeah, because I mean, Action Mutante that I saw just for the first time recently was doing it, where they were having the group who were doing it pretty much screwing it up at the same time.
But have you seen Deadpool 2?
Yep.
No, I'm talking to Patrick.
No, I have not seen Deadpool 2.
Well, Deadpool pops out of a cake and takes out a bunch of mobsters who are celebrating a birthday.
Well, I think that's a reference to.
It has to be. It has to be.
I mean, Some Like It Hot is one of the best movies ever made, basically.
Certainly the best comedy.
And for some reason, I'm drawing a blank on that scene. You know, it's been 15 years since I watched Some Like It Hot.
Yeah, because I remember them being the witness to Spats leading a massacre in a warehouse.
Right, and that's at the very beginning of the movie. The cake massacre happens towards the end of the movie.
I feel like I've let down my fans. Sorry about that phone call earlier. I couldn't find where the mute button was. I figured I'd just pick up the phone. I've been getting inundated with on my landline with Google asking for a brick and mortar address for my business. And I use a P.O. box instead of brick and mortar address because my wife requested that. Brick and mortar's, strictly home address. Doesn't want it showing up on anything. And if you do a Google listing, they will not list you unless they have a brick and mortar. And all I ever get are these really annoying auto dialing features, and they'll just go into the circuit where it's all I get all day long for like every hour on the hour. And I thought it was that happening again.
There's no way to call them up and say, hey, cut it out?
No, it's on some mailing list in India. I mean, you can say, hey, place me on your do not call list, but you're talking to a machine, a robocall. So,
well, maybe try Twitter and see if like a public request will get their attention. Usually that seems to be the case nowadays.
I've done that too.
Oh yeah, I've never mind.
It usually goes in 6-month spurts. I was about to tell people I was dead, but my wife said, no, do that. I was going to start telling my wife's stuck on all these stupid mailing lists. And I was about to tell people that she's dead. She says, please don't do that. Got enough problems in her life without, somebody filing the inappropriate paperwork with somebody. Oh, but I did have fun many years ago when I was living in an apartment, and my friend Norm had made the mistake of investing in some penny stocks.
Oh.
So he was getting lots of telephone calls from these people trying to promote penny stocks, and get this guy on the phone. And he says, "Oh, is so-and-so there?" I said, "Oh no, he's not here right now, but maybe I can help you out," knowing full and well that this is a guy trying to get more investments, and he's obviously looking for maybe another person. And he was kind of going, "Yeah, we were hoping that he might invest with us again." Oh my God, you haven't heard? I said, he goes, "What?" "Oh, he was arrested on cocaine possession."
Oh God.
And I said, "But don't worry, he's going to get out." I said, "What do you mean he's going to get out? Wasn't he arrested?" "Oh man, the guy's got a silver tongue on him. He's the master of persuasion. Oh, really? I says, yeah. It says, have you loaned him any money yet? I've never loaned him money. Oh, you'd be amazed. Like he's managed to get other people that he's invested with to loan them money. I don't know how he does it. You know, they're like, and honestly, God, the guy's got no money. He's flat busted broke. And yet he gets people to invest in him. They call up. He talks to them, and then the next thing you know, he's got their numbers, and he's cashing their checks. And I'm just making this guy sound, why do you live with him? I said, well, I never really have to seem to worry about rent half the time. He's really good with the landlord. I said, maybe I've been grandfathered in. I've known him since high school. It's not like I haven't loaned him money in the past, but, you know, he knows I've got a tire iron. I just went on like this for like half an hour. And my friend Norm, about a month or two later, he goes, you know what? I was getting one of those really annoying calls, and they just completely stopped. I said, oh, that's because you're in jail for cocaine possession. And he goes, oh, really? Oh, that's sweet. That's nice. Thank you very much.
I had a friend who got a telemarketing call for to go to a like a dojo or something to take like free martial arts lessons, and my friend was just like super quiet, and the guy was like, hello, are you still there? And my friend said, but I don't have any legs.
Oh God.
And then he said, can I still come? Oh man.
Yeah, I used to have a thing with a college buddy of mine, and we had a junk mail war. And while he was trying to get me on the most interesting mailing list, like I was on this mortician's mailing list. I was getting all these weird supply catalogs. And the one mailing list that he put me on that took forever to get off of was for large commercial equipment for farmers, like combines and things. Yeah, but what I did was, well, since my friend Norm, my roommate at the time, had just been dealing with all these penny stock things, I thought, oh, I'll get this guy. I'll put him on every single penny stock mailing list I can find. And when he got 5 pounds of mail in one day, he raised the white flag, called me up, says, please stop. At that point, we had been going at it for like 5 years or so.
That's pretty hardcore.
I kind of miss being on the partition's mailing list.
I'm reminded of those mock ads that they had in that 6 feet under.
Oh yeah, I love 6 foot under. If you haven't seen the series 6 feet under's really worth a watch. Has everyone here seen 6 feet under?
No, I haven't.
Not I.
Oh, it's hilarious. It's about a drama based on a family of morticians. And I'm trying to remember why one of the older sons who left the family business didn't want to be part of the family business. He's traveling home. I'm trying to remember if it's for Thanksgiving or Christmas or what exactly. But his father happens to die just as he's arriving in some sort of terrible hearse accident. And what they did was at the beginning of each show, it would start off with the death of the person who would then be on the slab for that episode. And sometimes that would have a bearing on the whole topic of the episode, and other times it wouldn't.
Other times it would just be an amusing subplot.
But the music was absolutely wonderful. It won a lot of recognition and awards. One of the actors on it would later go on and play the role of Dexter.
Oh, yes. That was the younger brother, I believe.
Yeah, the younger brother. And oh, that was just, my wife really enjoyed watching it. It was a truly magical show. It was right up there with like Lost in the quality of its writing and the suspense, and sometimes you never know what was happening.
Was it one of those premium cable network shows? Like
yes,
HBO?
it was on Showtime.
Oh, okay. That's why I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it was one of those shows that I'd heard about for ages, and with a lot of these cable shows, I pretty much just wait for the DVD.
So I loved the show so much that I went out and bought the box set. Of course, I've never watched any of the box set, but back when box sets were the things, I should actually probably loan that to somebody who might be interested in watching that show. But you could probably have the same experience. I'm sure it's streaming on Netflix at this point.
Quite likely.
I am working my way through the final and season 8 of Dexter, because my wife stopped and I stopped watching The Walking Dead. We were watching it on a regular basis until about a year and a half ago. So I'm like 3 years behind or something.
Yeah, me too. Lost all interest in it.
And I'm a big Walking Dead fan. It's just that I got so used to watching it with my wife that I was putting away, time to see it with her. But she falls out of love with a series sometimes, and sometimes I'll, if I see a pattern to a certain series, I'll fall out of love with it and stop being interested in. Like there was a show called The Pretender.
I remember that one. I never liked it, but I remember it.
It's
my wife loved that show, but I got really tired of it, so I stopped watching it with her, and after a while she stopped watching it because I wasn't watching it with her.
Yeah, I kind of fell out of the Netflix Marvel series. Like I only made it through part of Jessica Jones, and then I kind of stopped watching because I didn't want to, have to catch up or not know what was going on with the new series and all that stuff. So yeah, TV is sometimes like homework. Kind of sucks.
My wife went and watched. She started without me binge watching all of True Blood, and so now I'm kind of going, like, she's seen all of it, and I haven't. I stopped. I've said, well, don't watch it without me, but she says, okay, I won't watch it without. Then she went on and watched, like 3 seasons without me. I'm kind of going, oh man. And I tend not to watch series on my own. When I'm on my own, I tend to watch movies instead. Because I'm kind of going, wow, I got so many movies in the world that I want to see.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, as much as I'd like to get into a big discussion of which movie is better, the French Connection or Gone in 60 Seconds, the first one, not the original, in the way of car chases, it is 5:30, and it's time to wrap this thing up.
Okay.
To be continued.
I want to thank everyone for joining me on Epic Sketch Time. If you would like to see Locke's, Ian, Patrick's, Bill's, or my work, there's a link below in the description. And if you join us up here on Epic Sketch Time for more than 3 episodes, you too can be added into the descriptions. Anyway, see you guys next week.
Have a good one.
Bye, everybody.
Guys.
Bye.